Hello and welcome back once again to Counting the Omer 5786. Let's start by saying a blessing for this mitzvah of counting of the Omer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who sanctifies us with mitzvot and commands us concerning the counting of the Omer. Hayom esrim yom shehem shnei shavuot v'shisha yamim la'omer. Today is day 20, which is 2 weeks and 6 days of the Omer. Shomrim yesod shebetiferet yismechu. Guard them. Yesod within Tiferet will rejoice. Before we dig in deeper to learn a bit more about these aspects of the divine, these emanations of the divine, and think about how they might flow into our lives or be part of our spiritual growth, let's say a blessing for Torah study, because this too is a kind of Torah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu le'asok b'divrei Torah. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who makes us holy through mitzvot and who commanded us to busy ourselves with words of Torah. We are in the third week of the counting of the Omer, which corresponds to Tiferet, beauty, harmony, glory. This is the 6th day of the week, which corresponds to Yesod, foundation. You'll notice I'm using a slightly different image today. I've made this using Gemini. Please don't hate me for using AI, but I'm working on a project for school and I needed an image to put into a presentation for school. And when this came out, I was like, oh, that is too cute. I cannot use it only for the one school presentation that like only 3 people will ever see. So I hope that you enjoy it as well. I asked the AI to give me a colored pencil drawing in the style of Maurice Sendak of the universe, stars and planets, with the kabbalistic tree of life in the center. And this is what it gave me. I love Maurice Sendak, Zichrono Livracha. So let's get back to the roots. The root of the word yesod is yesad, yud samech daled, which at its simplest level means to join or to fasten, but then evolves to mean to found or establish. Yesod is the establishment or foundation of something that is created by joining disparate parts together into a unified whole. This makes a lot of sense when you look at its placement on the tree of life, because it gathers up all of the inflowing of divine energies and channels them down into the physical world at Malchut. Do you remember the root of the word Tiferet? Way back on day 3, we talked about this. The root of Tiferet is Pei Aleph Resh Pa'ar, which means to crown or to glorify. So in a way, we could say that the foundation of Tiferet is the glory of God. What is beauty but God's beauty, God's glory? But what are the disparate parts that are being joined together? The beautiful kaleidoscope of reality. The friend that I'm working on this project in school with, we're doing a presentation on truth, And he brought up this idea of a kaleidoscope as being a metaphor for truth. And the more that I think about it, the more I think it's a gorgeous metaphor. Because think about what a kaleidoscope is. On one end, we've got a bunch of colored pieces. Maybe they're stones, crystals, little pieces of colored glass, little pieces of colored metal, whatever they are. And then in the body of the kaleidoscope, we have two or sometimes three angled mirrors, so that when you turn them and the mirrors change their direction to each other, and the little colored pieces may sometimes they're in one place, sometimes they also move around. So the reflections change and they create these beautiful images. Now, if you're just talking about the experience of the person viewing this, each person is going to view this kaleidoscopic image in a different way. There are many issues that may come together to make this different. There might be physiological differences. The colors that you see may be different than the colors that I see. Maybe you see brighter colors, or maybe you see them more muted. Maybe you're better able to see reds or not able to see reds. Or maybe you're better able to see the greens or the blues than I am, or less able, whatever. So you may be literally seeing a completely different image than I'm seeing. It may be more blurry, or it may be more uh, precise. You may be able to see smaller details or not see as small details. And so all of those things are going to affect the way that you perceive this image. And on top of that, there's also life experience issues that are going to change how each of us perceive this image. Are we looking at blossoming flowers? Are we looking at stars? Are we looking at uh, different kinds of snowflakes? Are we looking at something else entirely that I haven't thought of yet? If a bunch of people were to look at the same kaleidoscope, groups of them would have similar experiences, maybe slightly different, but overall similar enough that when they describe it, they say, yes, yes, that's what I see. Now, it would be kind of stupid for the different groups who are all looking at this same thing and having very different perceptions of what they're seeing to start fighting over what they're seeing. No, no, it's a snowflake. No, no, it's flowers. Like, on the face of it, that would be absurd, right? We would all just take joy in sharing our experiences and saying, wow, I didn't think of that. I didn't see that. I don't perceive that at all. Or, oh, I can see that now. I didn't see it before, because now that you've told me, I'm able to shift the way that I'm looking at the thing. But none of us who are looking at all of this beauty are actually looking at the truth of what's happening. The truth of what's happening is the tiny pieces of colored objects, whatever they are, moving or not moving, however they are, and the different mirrors that are aiming the image in different ways towards our eyeballs. The truth and the experience are different. They're related, they're connected, but they're different. And there are many different pieces that are coming together in order to make this overall experience of beauty. So the foundation of beauty might possibly be one way to think about this is that the foundation within beauty is the ways in which many things come together to create an experience of beauty or an experience of glory. Those different aspects may be, if we're talking about, say, physical beauty, the symmetry of a person, the shade or the quality of their skin, the shade or the quality of their eyes, the way that their teeth look, the way that their hair is styled, the color of their hair, whatever, all of it comes together, the shape of their body. These are all different aspects that may lead you to find a specific person beautiful. The clothing that they're wearing is a piece that comes together to make you perceive a specific person as beautiful. What are the things that come together to give you a sense of the beauty of the divine? I'm not going to try to tell you what the pieces are, but this is a thing perhaps to meditate on and to consider. What are the different aspects, the different colored stones, as it were, and the different angled mirrors, as it were, that are bringing you an experience in any given moment of the beauty and glory of the divine. Foundation in beauty is perhaps the awareness of how our different perceptions join up to create a unified whole. Your perception of the beauty of God and my perception of the beauty of God are each wonderful, but they're even more wonderful when we can share them with each other, learn from each other, and find joy in each other's experiences of the divine. Thank you so much for studying with me once again. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. A journal entry, a bit of whatever you're learning in your own meditations or own studies on these issues, or what is coming up for you as we go through the counting of the Omer. You can join us in the comment section on YouTube or join the school. It's free, and leave some comments there. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow.